And Marc-Andrea Maurizi is with 5 points. The next one, so 3 points different between Salem and Marc-Andrea. Points, Samonenko with Bjerre Jonas together with 4 points, and Vaishali 2.5 points. And we see that the pairing started.
Yep, the game is started. So here we have a rather odd, I'm not really sure what is this, some kind of a Catalan, delayed Catalan. Okay, b3 here. White is not rushing to capture back the pawn on d4 because then black would respond with e5. This is still opening prep for both players. Bjerre shows, I know this.
Bishop c5 has been played, knight d4.
So here for the first moment, the Danish Grandmaster is considering what are his options. Maybe he didn't really know the move knight e4. There you go, e5 is played, knight f3 retreats. Now suddenly the game becomes really spicy and the e-pawn must charge forward. Knight e4, now white has a very nice outpost on d4.
White has a nice outpost, while black is having those central pawns. But are they actually moving somewhere? Is there idea to play e3 at some moment? I mean, that's a question.
Might be. There might be an opportunity for black to play e3 and chopping up things at the same time. Angelica, I mean, what do you do? For example, if you are playing the final game, doesn't matter the time control, blitz, rapid, or classical, you need just a draw. What kind of approach would you have?
I mean, there is, such a dangerous type of approach going for a draw, which normally going to be punished. So I think that the most important is to play normal. How would you normally play?
What is normal? How would you define normal?
Not to play dry positions, not to trade the pieces, because you can just blunder in some position and you lose the game and you lose the chance of qualification. I mean, sometimes when the players are going for many simplifications, going for the trades and so on, and trying to choose the opening accordingly of the results they need, they might actually not succeed at all.
I think also it's a good idea, of course, just to play for the win because it's very, very difficult to play for the draw. For Bjerre, I don't think he really can fight for the victory in the triathlon, even if he's winning these 12 points. It's already such a huge difference, but he can at least be there, be the part to play a couple of interesting games and maybe climb up a bit higher in the overall rankings. Very important game. Angelica, I'm wondering if Samonenko is even aware of this. Does he know? Does he know how this game is important for Bjerre?
I'm not sure he knows because he is focused on his own result and it is not being great so far. But in the Blitz portion, actually Igor is pushing. He's scoring some very important wins, playing super well, having a good shape. Unfortunately, just towards the end of the triathlon, which will not be enough for him.
Bjerre is falling behind on the clock. In the meantime, just to give you an update, what is happening? Salem selects game against Vaishali. Salem has simply an extra pawn in the Benko gambit-like position where a pawn is a pawn. Basically, this is not the kind of news that Bjerre really wants to hear, but I don't believe, Angelica, he has the time to follow what's happening in that game. Just focus on your own.
Exactly, and e3 has been played. f4 is a reply by Igor Samonenko. Is the pawn on e3 a strength or a weakness? That's a huge question. Can white try to capture it?
Yeah, only 1 minute and 10 seconds. Bishop b7 is played. This game is incredibly sharp. By the way, speaking about Igor, last round he scored finally a very important victory. He's been having a pretty good run so far. How many points does he have in the Blitz tournament?
Yeah, Igor is having actually 4 points, so he has scored some very nice wins already in the Blitz portion. If he would have started like this in the Grandmaster Triathlon, he would still have chances to go for the final stage, but unfortunately it happened only at the end of the tournament in the Blitz portion, so now he doesn't have any chance at all.
Oh, this is really spicy. I mean, look at this. The black bishop just made it on d2. I'm wondering if white could think about moves like rook d1, rook d2 at some point, just sacrifice the exchange. The knight heads on c5. And one thing, Angelica, I really love about this position is this very strong battery. Bjerre is in danger here.
I'm looking at g4, g5 ideas, going all in on the king side and checkmating the Bjerre, but we see knight c5 has been played on the board.
Bishop c6, black's position deteriorates. Maybe, Angelica, you're right. The g4, g5 starts to suddenly become a very serious move, but again, it weakens your king. Maybe there's no mate because black can just always respond with either knight e8 or knight h5. Not an easy move to make. So you also want to consider some other moves, like, again, my idea of rook d1, rook d2. Could be also some more positional move like bishop f3, bishop c1.
He wants to trade the bishops and just capture the pawn on e3. That's also another idea. Knight e4 coming in into the position of white.
when your wars try to complicate the matters, and this is exactly what Bjerre is doing. He's now about 1 minute on the clock, and he's catching up with Semenenkov. This was the missed opportunity for White.
Exactly. And
Great move, by the way.
yes, great move with the knight. I mean, now you cannot really capture the bishop on d2 because then there are going to be some problems. And
maybe go back, bishop b2, no?
but if you go back, there is queen f6. I mean, unfortunately.
Ooh, queen f6, that's a big move.
So bishop d2 actually been played. ed.
Pawn on d2.
Oh my
Almost
God.
like a queen. I mean, this is a very strong pawn. Now, that's the question. Is this pawn a strength or is it a weakness? Actually, the bar says it is a strength, but I don't really see how White can capture it immediately. Maybe take on e4, but then Black is going to include the trade on the e4.
Yeah, maybe take, and then rook d1, just couple of exchanges of the pieces and trying to capture the pawn on d2. White might be up a pawn, and this is actually crazy what is happening right now.
In the meantime, Vaishali is fighting back against her game in Salem Select. For Salem, it's still not everything clear. So they're this is a very important game for the final round, of course, because we're trying to find out who's going to be the final player to qualify from the challengers to the final four. So Bjerre cannot lose this game. He needs a draw. Now the position looks pretty safe, although, by the way, he's down a pawn.
He's down pawn in this position. Can he? But his rook is all the way on d3. He's attacking the pawn on e3. Another rook is coming into position. Will he be able to score this very important half a point at least?
Black is very active, but both players are below 30 seconds. I mean, for Bjerre, it's slightly more. Rookie to play it here, but the Ukrainian player. In the meantime, what do we have in Vaishali's game? The game is pretty wild.
Yes, very
Salem
well.
Saleh has an extra pawn still, but yeah, very intense game there as well. So we'll still follow this game. So Bjerre stands at the moment, tries to apply pressure on the clock.
Ior is also having an extra pawn here, but the problem is that Black's pieces are super active, but both players are going down to 15 seconds on the clock. F5.
F5 was a very nervous move. King h4 movement and came from some checks. Now Black is threatening to crash through at d2, rook c4, queen a3. Now Black charges forward.
Yeah, the huge question is what do you do here? Rook c7 trying to activate the rooks for White. Can White do some damage here? Will Bjerre make it to the top four?
And there news from Select's game. I don't think Bjerre wants to hear. The Emirati Grandmaster has a very nice and potentially winning position. So that's why, once again, here Bjerre needs to hold on or not to lose.
He needs to hold on this position, but it looks like rook on a7 is being activated very much. Where do you go with the bishop?
Feels pretty safe for Black, but it just takes one mistake and it's gone. Watch out for doubling the rooks on the 7th rank.
And now there is a huge threat of rook c2 right now. The queen is pinned.
Rook d7,
What
rook
happened
c2.
after rook c2?
4 seconds, 3 seconds, rook c2 is on the board. There's a queen sacrifice.
Queen sacrifice for 2 rooks. I mean, still materially around equal, but the pawn on a5. What
I
do you
think
do?
Black is already much better here. So here White tries to activate his pieces. The bishop on g2 is pretty dead. I suppose some sort of a g4 already could be played.
The g4 idea trying to open up and having some squares for the king. Maybe it's a case when Bjerre is already safe, but we don't know. Anything can happen in last seconds.
Salem Saleh has a theoretically interesting endgame in the rook endgame, extra pawn up against Vaishala, but it's not clear if he can win this. So, of course, Bjerre has no time to check it out here, so he's trying to activate his pieces, doubling the rooks here, making sure not to blunder. There goes g5. Very nice move, trying to expose the Black king. I love that.
Yes, exactly, and going forward all in because the weak king might bring some...
This is dangerous. This is very dangerous. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Just a second. Queen e4, g6.
Queen h5.
Probably it's equal. Not really sure, but now Bjerre is seriously pressed on the
There are
clock.
2 pawns for White. Can White make it?
Oh, that was a great move. Rook e6. How did it protect the pawn
King
on
f2.
e3? e4, the game continues. Rook a7. Bjerre should be safe. 3 seconds. Wait, he can play rook h7, just capture the queen. Wait, no? He just missed it. He could have
Rook
trapped the queen.
h7.
He could have
Was
trapped
trapping
the queen.
Oh my god. Queen c8.
Look, he blunders the rook.
No.
He blunders the rook. Queen is just
Oh my God.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, how can you do this? Just such a heartbreak for Bjerre. So what
And
is
he
it?
resigns. What is happening in the game of Saleh Salem
He's
against
out.
Vaishali?
He's out because Salem Saleh just won his game against Vaishali in this such a just unbelievable amount of
This is
force here.
crazy. Absolutely.